right, Cam. Should you avoid microplastics at home? True or false?
That's gotta be true.
I thought so because there's like so much talking about this.
What?
And then I dug into the research and it's actually quite complicated. So definitely there's like tons of evidence that microplastics accumulate in your body. The same way that like heavy metals accumulate in fish and then you eat them and then you also have like heavy metals. But like the evidence for that actually being bad for you is much weaker. And it's a massive amount of work to like actually avoid microplastics, right? Because there it is everywhere. And like bottled water in your food wrapping, in your lint, like when you dry your clothes in the dryer, that like just puts like tons of microplastics in the air and then you breathe them. It's like so much work to avoid them. The evidence for them being bad for you just doesn't seem to be that strong yet. It might change, but so far. So I would actually say it's not worth it.
Wow, that's crazy.
This is gonna get some YouTube hater comments. We're gonna see.
Yeah, I feel like it's conspiracy theories both ways now.
Well, I use the consensus.app AI thing that does like research and they, so it's not me, it's them. All right, next one. Mold in your home is bad for you. True or false?
That's terrible for you, I'm pretty sure.
It is indeed terrible for you. You should avoid it. It's bad for like all kinds of things. And yeah, basically whenever something smells like musky or like when you see like your wallpaper peeling or when you just like see obvious mold, do something about it. I think the most important thing that isn't always being done is like fix the source. You get mold because things are damp and wet. Well, you can just put a fresh coat of paint over it and be like, be done with it. But like, if you don't fix the ventilation in your bathroom or like wherever it's coming from, it's not going to fix the problem. Like, so fix the problem first, then.
I like that. Going to the root cause.
All right. Next one. Lead. Lead is bad for you in your house? True or false?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's bad for you. I don't think there'll be, especially if you're in, higher income country, I don't think there'll be that many sources of lead.
Yes and no. So again, I looked into this. I think clearly it is bad for you. 50% of countries still don't have regulation on lead. So of course, when you live in the States or even Europe, you're better off than the average. But even if you live in these countries, US, Canada, Europe, and so on, it can still be that like a lot of historical piping that's like because it's an old house or because like you can't just like rip out all the pipes out of the ground, and that there might still be lead there. And it's like hard to give like very specific advice here, but the way to test this is just look into like historical records, like with an AI, do some research around your house. If you're suspicious that there might be lead, you can get a free, often together with like your water provider, some kind of free test. But again, it really depends on your jurisdiction. But it's like if you live in an old house, in an old neighborhood, like chances are there might like still be lead like somewhere. So it's good to get that checked. And like for adults, it's not that bad, but for kids, it's like super neurotoxic. So good to double check.
Feels like the government should be doing an intervention. Like if you can already find out if it's likely, it feels like the government should be doing this.
That's why they subsidize these tests. And again, it really depends on where you live, right? Like, but since we try to be a global podcast here,
True.
Everybody do their own research. It is pretty helpful. All right, next one. Wi-Fi radiation. Should you sleep next to your router, basically?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is false as far as the evidence is concerned. And I also believe it to be false.
So, I think the evidence says pretty clearly it's not harmful for you to the level that you can measure and detect and whatever. Like putting a phone next to your head while you're on a call is like so much stronger in terms of radiation. And that also seems to be safe, right? So I don't think no reason to be worried there. What does have an effect is like having your phone on right next to your nightstand for your sleep quality, but that's because you just like worry about like notifications and stuff. So if you can avoid it anyway, the stuff from the Wi-Fi seems to be pretty fine. All right, next one. Tap water. Should you buy bottled water?
I think this one probably depends where you are, but in general, you probably don't need bottled water.
That's also what the evidence is saying. So I like fluoride, good for your teeth, a conspiracy theory. Like that's fine. Chloride also like not bad for you, even if it kind of might affect the taste of the water a little bit. There is a risk of like having some kind of heavy metals in there or some other stuff that has like might have like some super long-term effects on like some small things. But in some brands of bottled water, you have the same problem. Like what is the mitigation you could do? You could get a water filter. Most people who do that forget to like change the filter in the water filter, and then you just get like plenty bacterial growth, which is like much worse than any of the effects you might have from the tap water. Some people might not like the taste, but actually you get used to the taste super quickly. Like whenever I moved or I'm like visiting a new country and start drinking tap water there, it's like has a distinct taste wherever you are. It's like you got to get used to it, but like one day later, I at least don't notice it anymore. So, and for bonus points, get one of these soda things that put some carbonated water in your bottled water, and it's the most pleasant drink there is, I think.
I've never been sensitive to like water taste. I know some people seem to be very sensitive, but maybe I just don't think about it that much. I just like drink it. Looks like water. I'm sure there's like a mental thing going on there, but yeah.
Maybe next time I visit you, I'm gonna bring some tap water from Amsterdam, and then we can do the London Amsterdam.
Let's do it.
Yes. All right, next one. Flame retardants.
As in, are they toxic?
Good or bad for you? Is it a thing? Like, should you worry about it?
This one I'm actually not sure about. Like, I don't think I've heard anything about this. So I guess I'll go for false, like not bad for you.
I also had never heard about this, but like looking into this stuff during the research, I was like, this actually is bad for you. Like, it turns out that like back in the days, like 10 years ago, and before, I think before 2015, if I remember correctly, like it was like people would put flame retardants on like couches, electronics, whatever, to prevent the stuff going on fire when it goes on fire. Those things get into the air over time, and then they get into your body, and then they're actually pretty bad for you. And so there has been regulation to try to prevent this. It's been mixed. I think in the States, anything kind of produced after 2015, and there's like a label for this, should be fine. But as a rule of thumb, if you have like old furniture with like this crumbly white foam inside, like that might be dangerous for you. So like do a check on the label. Unfortunately, there isn't a label that's the same across the world, so you'll have to kind of check for your country. The UK seems to be especially bad because they want to be especially fireproof. So I think to this day, they still often allow chemical flame retardants that can cause cancer and all kinds of like other bad stuff. Actually, they cause influence on hormone levels, your brain development, and your fertility. So again, like brain development is again for kids, right? But it's something to at least look out for.
Wow.
Yeah, something new today, huh? Okay, the last one, decluttering. Is it actually good for you? Is it only a trend on Instagram and for rich people who have bought too much and want to get rid of some stuff again?
It must be good for your mental health, I would imagine. So I would say it is good for you.
I think of all these things we discussed, there's like so much evidence for this one actually to be good for you. So it pretty reliably, like minimalism as a concept, and especially applied to like stuff in your home, seems to have a pretty reliable effect to increase life satisfaction, to reduce depression. And it's super easy to do. Like you just look around your house, maybe start with a small corner and be like, what in here actually serves a functional value or actually makes me happy? And if it's neither of those, let's like put it in a box. And if I didn't need it in 3 months after putting it into the box, just like throw the box out. Right? Like often taking stuff and like putting it out directly is maybe too much of a mental leap. But like putting it in a box, I think most people can do. And then maybe just even resell it instead of throwing it away. Right? Like give it a second life. Also feels good, gives you some extra cash.
I love that. I'm definitely going to do that one. I feel like my house has a lot of clutter that I could clean up. There's a really good documentary on YouTube of just like Japanese minimalists, and this guy owns like things like 30 items. It's really crazy. I highly recommend.
I think as with everything, there's a dose dependency, right? Like I could imagine on that person that the life satisfaction effects go down after a while.
Yeah.
if you're in the healthy mid range, then probably it's net positive.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have no more myth to bust. This was today's session on everything in your home and what's good for you and not. Yeah, I think as of next week we're gonna start with money. So if you don't want just like a little optimize your house, but just buy a new house, then subscribe and we'll talk about how to think about money and make enough so you can actually buy a house.
Well, I guess before we leave, any updates from last week? Any changes?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. What did we discuss again last week? It was we got a air filter at home in our bedroom. So that's nice. And then on the more prepping side of things, I think we're set up already okay-ish, but I still wanted to do like a double check. I wanted to check if our, how do you call them, the fire things that detect fire detectors, if they also detect carbon monoxide. So there's some to do still on my list. How about you?
Again, like not related to last week, but I guess me and my girlfriend we're actively encouraging, pursuing, trying to get people to live near us. Yeah, I started co-working with a friend who lives like 10 minutes away, and I was like, wow, this is like been so good for my well-being and just general life. And I am like now just brought into like having more people around me and this sort of thing. So yeah, just subtly trying to encourage people to live
Yeah, I
near.
love it. Did you ever try to befriend your neighbors, or like what's easier, like befriending the neighbors or getting the friends to become your neighbors?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not the best with the neighbors, but perhaps something to like also improve on and like work on a little bit. But I guess either work as well.
Right. That's exciting. I'll keep tabs on it. Yeah, as you might know, I had this dream of living in a community for a long time, and then just gave up on it because it's too hard.
Yeah.
And getting friends to live next to you, I feel like that sounds achievable.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah, there's a project in London, I think it's called Mosaic, who are, like taking it even further. Like they're trying to have an actual like neighborhood. So I'm very curious to follow these. Maybe I'll just move there. I don't know.
But then you have to be friends with your neighbors again. You're not
I guess
friends
so.
with those people yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool. Well, that was fun. As always, all the details are also on our blog at uzaria.org. Yeah, see you next week.
Amazing. See you next week.